I'm Brittany, and I have a bachelor's degree in film and television.
And I'm Jessica, and I have a bachelor's degree in equine studies, and we're going to make a bad horse movie.
Welcome to Colt Classics.
Woo!
It's time, once again, to make a bad horse movie.
Best time of the day.
Best time of the day when we're making a horse movie.
Best time of the week.
Best time of your
life.
life. Every episode is the best time you'll ever have.
Absolutely.
Guarantee.
Well,
money back guarantee.
No, we shouldn't do that. We need to add another disclaimer now.
If people are paying money to listen to this podcast, they're doing it wrong.
That's true, but I mean, we won't refuse your donations.
No,
I'll make them.
Yeah, but you won't get any money back.
No,
you don't get money back for a donation.
No,
that's not how that works.
No, absolutely not.
You're not making a purchase unless you're purchasing merch.
Yeah, merch.
Just as a reminder that we have merch. We have t-shirts and stickers.
Yeah,
and they're fun.
Still waiting to put my sticker on my car. I gotta clean my car first.
You're gonna make a tweet about it, I'm sure.
Yes.
So very exciting. Yes,
hopefully I'll remember.
It'll be exciting. All right, so we started a new segment last episode, called Things Found on the Horsternet.
What's on the Horsternet?
What's on the Horsternet? And we're going to do it again.
Yes.
So, what did you find on the Horsternet?
Okay, so this is something that I've been sitting on for a while. And hopefully somehow we can link to the clip or something like that. But literally I made a board on Pinterest that says, I think I need to explain ? So it's a video. The caption on it says, imagine needing a getaway horse and you pick one that does this. And it's a horse that is not going very fast, forward, but their feet are moving very quickly. So their feet are moving very quickly, but you're not progressing very far. And it's funny. It's a funny, if you hopped on a getaway horse and then it's like the trope of you hop on the old grandma scooter or whatever, and it's and you're really not going very fast. But there is actually a reason for this. So there's a specific breed of horse called Pasifino, and they're the only breed that is able to do this specific. It's called a gait. And these competitions, they literally. So when they ride them, they start off a little bit kind of in the dirt, and then there's this wooden board that's a certain length long, and they're trying to get as many footfalls as they can via the length of this board. And there's literally judges there that are clicking a little thing to count how many, because usually when a horse is moving faster than just a dun, 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 there you don't have each hoof fall separately, but these horses are able to do that. So that's why you're hearing it go so fast, because it's literally all four of their hooves are hitting at different times very, very quickly in rapid succession, as they go across this board. So it's very cool. I would actually love to go see a Pasifino competition in person, because when I found out about it, I was like, whoa, that's so interesting.
Is it a dressage thing, or is it its own separate?
No, it's its own separate thing, because this. So dressage, you can ride almost any breed of horse. This breed, the Pasifino breed, is the only breed that can do this particular. As far as I understand, they're the only breed that can do this particular gait of being able to move all of their hooves so quickly.
That's neat.
In succession, yeah. They're a Spanish breed, I think.
Okay.
So I don't know.
It
doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I just thought it was interesting.
That is really interesting. I do like the meme. I'm going to try to see if I can put it up on screen, at least if people are watching the video version of this. You have a whole board of this?
Well, that's the only thing that's on the board. But I came across it and I was like, I have to save this under something specific. Yeah. And then the board got named, I think I need to explain?
I need to explain.
Because that's the thing about anything, not anything, but most horse-related jokes on the internet, aren't quite as funny to me because usually it's a misunderstanding of something horse related. I'm like, I actually know
why it's doing
that. So it's not really funny to me. Sorry. When I was in college, one of the things that I realized is like the field of study, whether or not you're in college or just picking a field of study just in general, has to be something that you're willing to let be ruined for you. Because like I had a bunch of friends who were doing film type things, and then they couldn't just watch movies anymore because they know all of the details of like why the shot was framed that way, and oh, that audio is really bad, or like I can sit down and watch a movie and not really be affected by any of the technicalities of it or the storyline or whatever. Like plot holes just go right over my head.
I will say, I think, now I can't say this for like if you're in a field of study that you get advanced degrees in and you spend like every waking moment in it. But I know for me that like after my education, I kind of looped back around of like I got to the point where I knew so much that it just was like, okay, cool. This is I understand the process that goes into it, but also I am able to just kind of let it wash over me. I think you get to a point of just blatant understanding of like, yeah, sure, this is bad, but it's not ruining my experience of it.
Right.
So like I think it depends on what you're considering the enjoyment of it, because like memes are something totally different. But like if you were to go to the county fair, you're not gonna sit and be like, well, that writer, it needs to go back to school. Like you're gonna have an understanding of like, okay, cool, I know what the skill level is here, and so I understand why this is happening the way it is.
Here's the thing though that for me kind of also put me on that track of like, oh yeah, I had a poster in my room of this horse. It was just the white horse, and it said free reign on it, and I think it was from one of those like Scholastic book fairs or whatever. And then I took a class called Confirmation, which is like how the horse is put together, like proportions and all that kind of stuff. And I went back home and I was like, oh my gosh, this horse has the longest back ever. And I can't stand it now. I literally got rid of the poster because it had been quote unquote ruined for me. And like I look at, horse pictures of horses and stuff, and it's like, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna be like, oh, that horse is so ugly, but it's not gonna be like, oh, pretty horse poster I want to have on my wall. It's like, okay, that horse, it is special. And so, I don't know. I mean, and it's not like ruined. It's just like when you know a lot of things about a particular subject, sometimes it's hard to just blindly enjoy media or things or just things related to them.
I think it's too also like how much information you know.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, basic kind of things, but you may not know the like intricate details of like miniature horses, you know, or anything or different styles of riding. Like you have more knowledge in one side or the other. So when you engage with something that you're not like fully knowledgeable about, you're still going to have that like, I understand how horses work, but I don't know enough about this to get into it. Like for me, I have a knowledge of filmmaking, sure, but I also don't have any like there's certain experience levels I don't have. Like I'm not a writer. I know how to like enjoy media that's written in a way of like being like, okay, this was poorly written or this was good or whatever. And plot holes don't occur to me till after. It doesn't matter what it is. Like after I've read it, like, wait a second.
Yeah.
But like I can't go into something being like, well, I have the full knowledge to critique this writing.
Right.
Because I'm not a writer.
Right.
I'm a filmmaker, I'm a storyteller, but I don't claim to be a writer in any sense of the word because it's just something that I know is not my skill set. So there are certain, like, you can go deep down, but you're still only going to be able to have intimate knowledge about like one aspect of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
I think it has ruined my enjoyment of horse memes a little bit.
I feel like that's really what this segment is going to end up being, is like you being like, this meme sucks.
I'm sorry.
No, I like it. I think we need that more in our life. I think we need to be more critical analysis of our meme consumption. I think that's really important in 2022 is to have critical analysis of our meme consumption.
I think the thing for me is like I like teaching. I like educating people. And so like when we get into the movie part of this, like you have a lot to say about movie things and how movie stuff works, and I'm like, yes, please inform me. I know nothing. So this is my chance to inform the people about horse things.
Yeah. That's what the balance is here.
So what's on the Horsternet subtitle? Jessica's horse information class.
Jessica's horse corner.
Jessica's horse corner.
All right. Well, I've got another horse corner for you, but it's unfortunately not in your corner.
Okay.
So this is a screenshot of a Tumblr post.
Okay.
That has been going around for quite some time. It has been posted to us in the network Discord. Many times, including by me. I'm pretty sure. But the original poster is Normal Horoscopes, which, if you don't follow them on Tumblr, they've got a chaotic energy. So this is not out of the norm for them.
Right.
In all caps, it says, teen horse girl movie where the horse dies an hour in, and the second half is the girl learning occult science to reanimate it so she can win the big derby. And then there's a reply from Homebred Florida. Homebreed Florida. I don't know what that actually says. And it just simply says Necroprancer. And then Normal Horoscope says, tagline, you can't beat this dead horse.
Which I think is the best part of
it's a very good tagline.
It's the like excellent like double meaning of like, well, not double meaning, but it's like a play on like an idiom. Yeah. But also it means like you can't actually like beat them in the race.
Because they're gonna win.
Isn't that just like sort of similar to Paranorman? Do you remember seeing the ads for that?
No, I love Paranorman.
Oh, okay.
I've watched Paranorman a ton.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not even close.
But doesn't he try to reanimate his dog?
No, you're thinking of Frankenweenie.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. I'm sorry.
I've never seen Frankenweenie.
Sorry, Paranorman. That's not what
Paranorman is really good. Paranorman is actually about giving the reanimated dead like their souls back, essentially.
Oh, okay.
It's like really good. Like giving them their meaning and their like souls and a redemption arc. It's really great. I love that movie.
Is Paranorman also Tim Burton? Is that why I was
Leica Studios?
Oh, okay.
And so it's the same claymation animation style.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think Paranorman is Tim Burton.
Okay, I think Frankenweenie is Tim Burton.
Frankenweenie is Tim Burton.
Yeah. Anyways, the point is, it's not a dog; it's a horse, and I'm here for it. It's just like one of those things that has been like people love it, and I agree. It's amazing. It's been posted to us so many times, and it's like, I don't know if like somebody else has already made this or speculated this movie, and it's like I don't want to. It's been around for so long, and I don't want to be like, this is our original concept for this movie that already has a concept. So I guess it can't be original anyways. Yeah. But
if I were to make this movie, I almost would want to film it like epic blockbuster style. Almost like it's a toss up between like Hallmark $30 in a shoestring style or like epic blockbuster big CG animation. I mean, we could also go claymation, but I feel like it's pretty clear what the story is. She wants to win the big race. She's training to win the big race. The horse dies. She reanimates. She figures out how to reanimate the horse. Then there's a big race at the end.
And the horse wins. I mean, has to.
That's it. Although I feel like, personally, I think their structure is incorrect. I would kill the horse in the first half hour.
Yeah, you'd have to do it much earlier.
Because then you can have a whole journey discovery of the occult sciences.
Yeah.
to get to the reanimation stage,
Mhm.
and maybe this like the leading up to the race is like teaching the horse how to be a horse again because it's reanimated, right?
Right.
That's more of what I would go with.
So I have a question for you as like knowing a little bit more about mythology, fantasy kind of stuff than I do.
Sure.
I haven't really like read a lot of books or consumed a lot of media with necromancers.
Okay.
When you reanimate an animal, let's say, do they look different than when they were alive the first time? Like, cause I'm thinking, like, my brain goes to in Aladdin when the genie's like, I can't bring people back to life, and he's like all green and dripping and stuff. Like,
depends on the context, I would say. So if we're going like classic necromancer, they reanimate bones.
Oh,
They have skeleton armies usually.
Okay.
There's
Skelehorse.
There's definitely some range there for sure. But if you did that, that would be such a weird, like you would have to have a bit where it's like time has passed.
Yeah.
For the horse to become a skeleton.
That's fair. That's fair.
So it really depends on what you're doing there.
Yeah, because I think what I was thinking is like, how could you get away with this without freaking out the people who are attending the race of like this zombie horse that's dripping this green ooze is winning this race?
I don't know.
I feel like depending on where you wanted to go with it, I feel like my instinct would be it's like a 13 or 14-year-old girl usually. And so you could go the route of like her parents are very like Addams Family supportive.
Sure.
Or you could go the route of like she just convinces them that the horse didn't actually die and just was like in a coma or something, and she found a mysterious vet that was able to help her revive this horse, so the horse still looks like the way it did before it died, but you know that it was necromancy. Like there's like two different ways that you could go. And if you go the route of like convincing the parents that everything is normal, then you would probably want the horse to look fairly normal so that, all of the adults in this story would also not be concerned that this horse is like weird.
You'd have to have, I feel like, something to indicate that the horse is off to then give people that like option to be like weirded out.
Yeah. But not like you just walk up and be like, oh my gosh, it's the zombie horse.
It's a skeleton. I feel like maybe the answer is just like cloudy eyes. Which I know is not what horses do. I don't think.
Well, you can get cloudy eyes with horses. There's actually vision impairments and stuff like that will cause their eyes to become cloudy like that. Yeah.
Because then it would, you could like medically explain it away, but we know it's a zombie.
It's a zombie.
Although I do think Addams Family style could be fun, which is like a skeleton horse.
Yeah.
Of like, good job, kid.
Yeah. Oh, you brought your horse back from the dead. Oh, good job.
Good job.
Are you going to enter it in the race? I mean,
you're
you
so
still
much
have time.
More advanced than your peers at this age. I think that's fun. I feel like there's still like, it's a bit.
Yeah.
Like it's there's not any additional weight to this story, but I think it's fun.
I mean, you might be able to add something in if we thought about it for longer, but like.
Yeah, but the point of it is like, the point of it is the pun.
Yes, absolutely.
So at the end of the day,
you got the pun, you're good to go.
You're good to go. So we've already made a movie.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Okay.
Goodbye.
That's Colt Classic. Bye.
Bye. All right. Let's generate a real movie.
A real movie.
Did we
a
want
real fake movie?
A real fake movie. Hey, listen. One of these days, I'm gonna make one of these movies.
I'm excited.
I just need money.
Yeah.
Because horse movies are expensive.
Oh my gosh. Horses just in general are expensive.
Are we putting in a word?
Yes, I have one.
I'm
ready.
Give it
time.
to me.
It is Submarine.
Submarine. Are we putting that right at the beginning?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it works.
Let's see what happens with it right at the beginning. We got to give it a shuffle. All right. Options are Indiana, 50, and Oliver.
Submarine, Indiana. That's nothing.
I don't feel like this is anything.
No.
All right. Let's give it another shuffle.
Yeah.
Justin.
Oh my gosh. Why is Justin all
Justin, go away. Temptress. Submarine Temptress is really funny to me.
Yeah. That's like horse sirens.
Yeah. I don't know what this is.
Seahorse mermaid sirens.
I want to give it one more word. We've been doing a lot of 2-word titles lately. No.
Dumb.
Submarine Temptress in parentheses. Dumb. All right. One more time.
Okay.
Submarine Temptress.
Need.
Need.
Submarine Temptress need food.
I don't like these.
Luck.
I like luck.
Submarine Temptress luck.
I feel like we need to restructure the way this sentence is. But
okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Like Luck of the Submarine Temptress.
Oh.
Feels more like a movie title.
Okay.
Luck of the Submarine Temptress.
Yes.
How is this a horse movie?
I don't know, but I just knew that we hadn't done anything underwater, and I was looking through our list of suggested words, thanks to the Podcast Network. And that caught my eye, and I was like, underwater horse movie. Let's go.
Horse movie. Well, we've talked about horses on ships before.
Yes.
Because we made pirate horses.
Right.
And it was like bad.
Well,
ideally, we don't want the horse on the water. Now, under the water. I know. That's what I'm getting there.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
saying.
I'm just so excited.
Under the water. Now, do we just the horses under the water or?
Well, there's a few different ways that you could go. You could say, okay, there's a new cryptid that's just a horse that can breathe underwater, and they just kind of swim around like hippopotamuses do.
At Ghoul Tank, you're welcome.
We've made so many cryptids on this show. We need Ghoul Tank to. I mean, they've made one for us. They've done a takeover for us. I think we need to do a collab.
We do. We need a crossover episode.
Yeah. Anyways, you could do that. You could do like a something more pre-established.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure that there are like you go seahorses.
Mm-hmm.
Or some sort of like, I feel like there's other underwater horse. Oh no, not hippopotamuses, like moose. Have you seen the comic about the moose
and the orca
and
whale?
The orca, yeah. Like, so do we want just a normal horse that is underwater?
Yeah.
Or do we want an pre-established underwater horse, like a seahorse, or like I feel like there's other like Greek mythology cryptid types.
Well, there's a Celtic cryptid that I mentioned last episode called the Kelpie.
Yes.
Which is a shapeshifter.
Right.
Can look like a woman, can look like a droopy horse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question.
Yes.
I feel like the Submarine Temptress is a person, is a woman.
Okay.
So if it's a horse movie,
mm-hmm.
we got a lot of options there of like how that works. But we gotta have a submarine.
Right.
Like, I think that we need a real, actual submarine.
Yes.
And not a horse that is a submarine.
No. See, where my brain went to first was like the submarine itself is the Temptress of some sort.
Like the name of the ship.
Yeah, or like I was thinking, I mean, that's good. But I was also thinking of just like, these horses exist in this thing, and then it's this submarine that comes through, and something about it is like eye-catching to them, and so they're like trying to chase it down or something like that. Like it's like one of those things where I feel like I've seen this before, where like there's a fantasy world, and then technology comes through, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at this cool thing! We have to figure out what it is, what it does, blah blah blah, whatever." And they're like trying to chase after it, or it crash lands or whatever, and then it's like
I was in a totally different space than you because I was thinking this is a noir. This is like like an actual noir, not like our horse noir we did, but like a femme fatale, and she's on the submarine, and she's she's trying to do a grift, doing a con for some reason, and like so she gets through with the con, and that's the luck part.
Atlantis.
Okay. So we're saying just there's horses in Atlantis.
Well, yeah, they have like seahorses and.
Well, you're thinking of Disney Atlantis.
Well, they can have seahorses.
but here's okay. Yes.
Okay.
What if Atlantis is just a place this a normal place?
Well, I was thinking of like the con is that she is like she goes and cons them out of like gold or something like that they
Oh,
have in
in
Atlantis.
Atlantis. Maybe. I was just thinking there's just horses there. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean there could be.
yeah.
Because it doesn't like there's two different thoughts I feel like of Atlantis. One of them is that they're in like an air bubble,
Mhm.
and one of them is that they've all just evolved to be able to breathe underwater and everything's
Oh,
kind of
I've never
normal.
heard that one. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain I've seen that.
My understanding of Atlantis was it just sunk.
Yeah,
But
there's that too.
there's also bye.
Bye. Oh,
Um,
they've all evolved to breathe underwater. Aquaman.
oh, that would be why you keep bringing up Aquaman, and I've never seen Aquaman.
I'm sorry. It was our father was watching it on the television, and I happened to walk into the room. So I don't know if I've seen the whole thing all the way through, but I've seen most of the major important plot points.
Enough of it. Yeah. Okay. We're combining a lot of ideas.
Yeah,
here.
we gotta pick a.
Well, no, I feel like we can.
Oh, okay.
I think we've got to like crunch it in the right way.
Okay.
So I think that if we have a femme fatale and we're talking like a classic noir 30s 40s, she finds her way onto the submarine that's going on an expedition to somewhere.
Okay.
Right? And they somehow end up in Atlantis.
Okay.
Right? On accident.
Yes.
Wasn't supposed to happen. A portal opens up or the cloudy waters part or whatever, right? And they're like, huh,
yeah.
this is new. This was not on the map.
Yeah.
Their captain speaks like, I'm ball grape. I have no way to know.
I wear glasses, but I don't have eyeballs.
I'm blind because in a submarine you don't need to see.
Yeah. Just need to hear.
I just need to hear the beeping. I don't know if I'll ever be able to replicate that voice.
I can't even replicate it. I just tried 3 times.
It's really funny to me. We get to Atlantis, right? And we're on Atlantis, and there's people there.
Right.
And so our femme fatale is like, I must con them.
Yes, of course.
Because I am femme fatale. And then we run into monstrous horses.
Okay.
Like, that's the kind of the driving force to like, we gotta go.
Okay.
We gotta get out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a horse movie or like basically like a Jaws kind of. It's kind of like if we put a Jaws in the middle of a noir, but I don't know. This doesn't have to stay, but that's my thought of like, if I had to connect those pieces together, what would I do?
Okay. Here's where I'm going with it.
You don't like
I love Paul Grape, Captain. Captain Paul Grape. If you don't know who Paul Grape is, go watch some VeggieTales.
It tickles my voice when I do it in a weird way that makes me laugh even more. I'm crying right now.
Oh no, you know what? If you don't know who Paul Grape is, go watch the listen to the sorted episode that I got to guest on where we sorted all of the VeggieTales characters.
Link it back to the network.
Gotta do it.
Good job.
Thank you. No, so I was thinking, I like all of that. I was thinking, what if the femme fatale is the one, like, she actually has the, like, information or whatever of where Atlantis is. And so she, like, does a sneaky thing of, like, inputting stuff into the computers or whatever. And so that's why they, like, end up there, is because she actually knows and she just kind of, like, sneaks it in.
I don't know anything about submarine navigation in the 30s to know, like, how you would sneak it in, but I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a switching out of a map or something. Or faking orders from a captain.
Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, well, okay, I don't know if this is the correct noir structure because I don't know anything. Know much about a noir, but is there like there's usually like a guy who tries to thwart the plans of the femme fatale, right?
Yeah. So the femme fatale can be one of 2 different types of tropes. She can be damsel in distress, or she can be basically like the villain, but he doesn't find out until like the end of Act 2.
Okay.
If you're going with traditional like PI noir, because some noirs aren't really detective, but we've gotten so used to that being the case that that's what the tropes kind of lean into. Yeah, he's down on his luck. he's not respected by anybody, not the police, not the public. Everybody's against him. He usually has a drinking problem. And he's at his wit's end for whatever reason, and the femme fatale walks into his office and she gives a sob story. Usually it's a missing husband or a missing diamond or something like that. And he's like, no, I won't. Okay, well, right. That's the beginning of it. And then he goes through all kinds of like evidence and fights. Like he'll find something and like it'll be a dead end, or somebody will fight him or hurt him in some way. And there's like a point where he's like, okay, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And she's like, please, please, please. And then he's like, okay, for you. And then depends on the kind of the ending of like if she was a damsel in distress or not, whether or not he's gonna like find something that basically exposes her and she gets taken care of in whatever way, or he like finds the answer and it's not what they want. If we're talking PI kind of noir, I'm sure there's more to it. I can already hear John in the back of my head about different noir things. But like if I'm going based off of just tropey stuff, and that's usually what we do here at Colt Classics, is like
that's what we're here for.
Every trope we can kind of push into it. Because this isn't about a PI. This is just about the femme fatale, and it's more about the con. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish with a man.
Well, okay, so I don't know if this is what I originally had thought, but this is what's in my head now.
Yeah.
Well, I have two options now.
Yeah.
First option is she, like, as part of her con, befriends the prince, and he teaches her how to ride horses, and that's how we pull the horse, element into it. And you can do the whole thing of, like, the horse doesn't trust her and keeps bucking her off or whatever exactly. I don't know if these are normal horses or if we're going the seahorse route, but whatever type of horse it is like the horse can sense the bad motives or whatever. Or could be kind of go the route of like, not that he's a detective, but like somebody down on their luck, and the femme fatale is like, oh, this is a person that I can exploit because they're desperate. And so the whole like, oh, I need your help with this thing that I'm trying to do. And I don't know, my brain went back to detective of like, find evidence that, this person is a bad person and doing terrible things, and somehow kind of twist it around to basically get him to figure out ways to let her into places that she shouldn't be to be able to like con them out of whatever.
Yeah. Are we still in Atlantis in that point?
Yeah.
So we've brought the detective with us underwater.
Well, no, I was thinking of like it's some Atlantean person that she runs into on the street and is like, oh, I can use this person. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a man. I was just thinking like the original noir like bit. Usually
maybe it's the horse.
Can the horses talk?
I don't know, but they could probably get into places.
Listen. Horses are the worst companions for heist because they have hooves. They can't open doorknobs.
We're in Atlantis. Who says there's doorknobs?
They can't type on a keyboard.
Typewriter horse.
It just smashes the whole thing. Depending on how big the horse is, too. Their hooves can be like the size of my face.
How big is your face?
A dinner plate.
Good size. I feel like we have a lot of things going on, and I kind of want to scale it back.
Yeah, we need to hone in on something.
We need to come back, too.
Well, okay, so we've got the beginning. So there's a submarine going underwater for an unspecified reason.
Sure.
Femme fatale somehow either stows away and just appears, or convinces the men or the crew to let her on to this voyage.
I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pog rape captain who is blind. Please, I want to keep him in.
Okay. All right.
He's a blind submarine captain.
Named Captain Grape.
Okay, we don't have to call him Captain Grape, but
Captain Concord.
there we go. Yes. Captain Concord. So she slips into like the control room and distracts whoever is working there while she secretly inputs the coordinates to Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that there's some sort of like tumultuous journey of like actually like they're like the how you have the sirens are going off and it's and then
See, that's when people are like fighting.
No, I'm thinking of like the
We're leaking.
yeah, like something's going wrong. So
Yeah.
the sirens are going off. There's a little bit of turbulence or whatever you call it when you're under the water. And then it's chaotic and then everything suddenly is calm. And you look out the windows because I'm pretty sure submarines actually do have little porthole windows to be able to see. No?
Not usually.
Are you sure?
They have periscopes, but that's for when they get up.
That's for above the water.
Mhm.
I swear I've actually been in a submarine. Fun fact. It wasn't actually going anywhere. But they have one at the you came too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Carnegie Science Museum. Yep.
That one. I swear there was like a little tiny porthole.
I mean, maybe. Granted, I don't know the structure of a submarine from the 1930s if we're still going with that.
Fair,
so,
fair.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think, at least in modern day, like military submarines, there's not, because it is a point of weakness that the pressure could get in.
Right.
And they navigate just based off of sonar. So, you don't need to see. But I mean, if it's fantasy anyways, we could just certainly put a porthole in the submarine.
You gotta be able to look out and be like, oh, what is this place?
A whole city.
A whole city. So then they somehow like dock in a place and so here's an important question. Is Atlantis all underwater or is there an air bubble?
I don't know what's funnier.
You have to decide.
I have to decide.
Yes.
I feel like if we're going to go with the femme fatale, like getting out and doing shenanigans, then it needs to be normal. Air bubble.
Okay.
Air bubble situation.
You could either the submarine like docks in this like airlock thing and they're all able to get out.
Yeah.
Or the image that I had in my head is the submarine's going along, and then suddenly doink falls to the ground because there's no more water. It has gone through to the air bubble.
It would have to be someplace soft or they would injure their submarine.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
If the submarine is broken, then they have to stay and repair it.
Yeah.
Or stay forever, because Atlantis people don't want you to go back to the real world and tell them where Atlantis is.
Sure.
Like, you've made it there. You either die or stay forever.
And I think the first one is going to happen after the second.
Yeah, right.
At some point.
Unless you, like, try to make it out and they're like, okay, that's it.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know how comedic we want to go with this, but...
I feel like if we go with the style of like this is a serious blockbuster movie, but then we have a moment like that in there just out of nowhere. I want to add back in things that make this a bad movie. So I feel like that would add to it where you're like, that was not tonally correct. But we're gonna do it anyways.
Okay, so now they're in Atlantis. Femme Fatale has gotten to where she needs to be, so she's not all that concerned about the sub. I mean, obviously a little bit because she needs to get back with whatever she's heisted, and then we have options.
Yeah. What if she was trying to heist like a miniature horse, like a palm-sized horse? Like, I don't know how this makes it a horse movie, but I just really think it would be funny if she could bring a horse back with her and that fits on the submarine. Because a regular horse is not going to fit on a submarine.
Well, you could fit a real miniature horse on a submarine. Some of them are only like 2 feet tall.
Okay, is she hiding this from the crew or not?
Oh, well, that's
is
fair.
The question.
That's
if
fair.
It's like a little, like, put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that would be good of like making it where she can be really serious about what she's doing, but then it's just the audience is like, that is absolutely ridiculous. Why are you?
maybe she's like a miniature animal breeder.
Oh.
So she breeds like miniature horses
Uh-huh.
and like teacup Yorkies
Uh-huh.
and like the little dwarf cats.
Uh-huh.
Like that's her whole thing.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to make the smallest horse.
The smallest horse
And she had heard rumors that there were small horses
in Atlantis.
in Atlantis.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then she could.
And if we have it being a small horse, she still has the opportunity to bond with the horse, so we can still make it a horse girl movie.
Right. She could try to befriend like the stable boy.
Sure.
Or girl.
The horse herder.
The miniature horse caretaker.
Yeah.
The minimum wage miniature horse caretaker.
They're not gonna fight anything.
Right.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Right. Well, I just imagine in the sense of like they are the ones that are currently taking care of the miniature horses, but they aren't the ones that like own them or whatever. And so, you know, they have responsibility of care at certain points in the day, but they're not like there all the time, and they're not gonna necessarily, maybe if we make them like significantly younger than the femme fatale, it's just like, oh, this nice lady wants to learn about miniature horses. I'm gonna teach her how to bond with them and stuff like that, because there would be no sense of distrust necessarily, because they're a young and trusting you know, person.
I know that works.
Because then that would get like, you could have a little arc of learning about the mini horses and the whole, like, the mini horses don't trust her, the femme fatale, but she's like trying to do all the things. And I mean, I think you could almost also go with like she doesn't ever get them to trust her, and she gets frustrated and just kidnaps one.
Yoink.
Like in the middle of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, because I was thinking there needs to be something that happens that like makes the exit have to be speedy. So she has to like set up this stuff in place. And that could be part of it. I feel like, and I'm not clever enough to write this, but basically like a series of events needs to happen that essentially distract everyone so that she can heist a horse. But she's been like setting this up for days so that it can all kind of culminate whenever she needs to set it off.
Yeah.
And I think maybe something needs to happen of like, maybe the area that the submarine fell into is like kind of, there's like an opposite tide thing where like there was nothing, there's no water, but with 3 weeks or so it like fills back up and you can exit back out maybe.
Yeah.
And so like they figured out that's the timeline, so they fixed the submarine, and then it's like, oh, it's happening now, let's go. And then that way she can heist the horse and get back on the submarine.
So does the heist, is it still a noir or is it a heist now?
It's a noir heist.
A noir heist. So is it going to be successful? Like, isn't normally the point that it's not like she's supposed to get caught or whatever? Or not the point, but the trope. Isn't the trope normally that she gets caught?
If she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But like,
she's stealing a miniature horse from a location that...
Have you ever watched Ocean's 11?
No.
Because the whole point of that is they're all con artists and they all gonna heist a casino and they pull it off.
Oh, okay.
That's the point of every Ocean's movie.
Okay.
They're not good guys. They should all go to jail.
Right.
But they're not going to, because we root for them, because they're painted as the victors from the beginning to end. And you're like biting your nails that the FBI guys are gonna get them, even though like in the real world we should be on the side of the FBI. You know, or authorities or whatever. Depends on your feelings on things. But like the way that it's painted is like even any heist thing. Think about specifically, like my favorite TV show is Leverage. And they constantly, the characters say out loud all the time, we're not good guys.
Mm.
But we're rooting for them anyways
Mhm.
because the show is set up in a way that we don't hate them
Mhm.
and we want to see them succeed
Mhm.
and we hate the guys that they're up against even more.
Mhm.
So we could like hate the Atlanteans if we really wanted to,
Mhm.
of make it like feel justified,
Mhm.
or it could be, I mean, that would make the most sense to just immediately make it so that we want her to succeed.
Mhm.
Or we just write her as a character like who's bad, but you're sympathizing with her.
Okay.
Where you're like, yeah, she hasn't had a small bred animal in 20 years and she
Mhm.
really wants to get back into the game. She wants to
Mhm.
be successful again. She doesn't want to be homeless,
Mhm. Mhm.
We can certainly do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we're turning this into a heist over like a detective movie.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it ever was a detective movie. It's just kind of like I almost feel like at the end of the day, we're kind of combining like the PI and the femme fatale together a little bit.
Mhm.
Just the trope, not maybe the trope of like solving the mystery, but the trope of like somebody down on their luck who's like doing things that are like outside of the law to like
Mhm.
be good again.
Mhm.
We're kind of combining the two of those together.
Okay.
And we put it in Atlantis. So
Right.
we've already kind of
With tiny horses.
with tiny horses. We've already kind of gone out of the realm of reality here.
Yeah.
So we can certainly do whatever we want.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, do we want it? I mean, because that's the thing is, do we want this main character whose name is
Jade.
Oh, I like that. I was gonna say Sandra, but I like Jade better.
Okay.
Do we want her to succeed? Because if we want her to succeed, then we need to paint the Atlanteans in an awful light.
Mhm.
Or maybe not awful, but just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
she can take a mini horse.
Mhm.
Or if we want to be like, Jade is not the character you should be rooting for. We want to root for the captain. We want to root
Mhm.
for the Atlantean that she falls in love with. Like,
Mhm.
then she gets caught
Mhm.
and they have to let go because of, like that whole
Right.
moment of,
Yeah. No, I guess at this point she is the main character, and
yeah.
so therefore it's the one you want to root for. I'm just sad about horses being stolen.
We don't have to make it's
No,
our
no, no,
movie.
it's fine. It's fine.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like, yeah, I just want to keep it where there's just the characters are her
Mm-hmm.
and the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's crew, but you don't really get to know any of them.
Yeah.
Maybe one, but like I don't feel like they really need to be that important to what's going on. And the kid
Yeah.
who and I met, my favorite part about that is like there is no romance. Like it's just a heist that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. Well, I'm not really here for heists, but I'm here for movies that exist without any romantic subplots.
I mean, the most, not romance, but like love is the bonding experience, or at least
With
attempt to,
with the
with the
horse.
mini horse. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like the conclusion is maybe just her back at home. Or
Mm,
maybe it's just like, there hasn't really been a movie like this in a while where the ending is like the end of the experience and not really the end of the character's arc. But
mm.
like it could end with the submarine just going
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I think that's what I'm feeling. Like I don't feel like there's any other wrap up that you need
30
to
years
do.
later, she sold the smallest
Right.
horse the size of your pinky nail.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's just like
Also, it's a
there's
bad movie, so we don't need to end it well.
That's true. That's true. But I'm thinking, okay, so like I'm thinking of like what I learned about like story arc.
Mm-hmm.
And so the climax, the main like moment or crazy thing is the whole like, oh, we gotta leave now. And so she sets off the whole thing, and you're like on the edge of your seat, like, is it gonna work? Because there's all these factors that have to go together. And then she swipes the horse, and they get in the submarine, and then I don't know, maybe one of the Atlanteans like notices that it's been stolen or whatever, and they're like, get that submarine. And so it's like they're going after it, and then it gets too far, and it goes through the like magical veil of water that takes it back to the real world. And they're like, "Ah, darn."
I almost wonder if maybe it needs to be like you see all of the things go off, but you don't see her steal the horse.
Oh,
so you don't know if it succeeded or not. She runs, she gets on the submarine. The Atlanteans chase the submarine. Maybe one of the crew members does something that also makes them like want to chase the submarine.
Right, yeah.
We chase the submarine. They finally get away, and then she like opens her hand.
Yeah,
and there's the little horse,
and then the credits roll.
And the credits roll. Yeah,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so,
I think the miniature horse, minimum wage. I don't know what to call her. Stable girl.
Yeah.
Her name is Sarah.
Okay. I was picturing a more Atlantean name, but like, that's fine.
Well, she can have Atlantean last name.
half American on my mother's side.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's other people who have made it there and they've elected to stay forever.
Maybe we could set up a weird little world building that we never address again.
Just not at all.
We're like, yeah, there's Amelia Earhart. Don't worry about it.
Please. Yes, she has to be there now.
I don't know when Amelia Earhart crashed. I don't know what the timeline would be, so we would have to figure out the dates better. But, you know.
I want to say it was like 1960 something.
Yeah, I feel like it's later than what we said it, but
maybe she can just be there anyway.
She's just there.
We have had no historical consultation on this movie.
Things are really bad.
Yep.
I think that's hilarious. Okay, so, I will say,
okay,
that's a cult classic.
Okay,
The Luck of the Submarine Temptress.
I kind of forgot that luck was in the name of the movie, so that worked out really well.
I think it really works for any kind of con.
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We are part of the Pocket Podcast Network, which I have mentioned already in this episode, but just in case you forgot already, we're part of the Pocket Podcast Network. And there are some other amazing shows on the network. Pokemakers is doing great things. Home Viewing and Them's the Facts are still kicking.
Yeah.
Still doing what they do.
Yeah. If you haven't yet, go and join the Pocket Podcast community Discord server. We are posting stuff off and on in there. And you can interact with all the other shows on the network there.
Yes.
And we can share the love.
Pocket Podcast family.
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Colt Classics PPN.
And we want to thank Community Access Media for the use of their facilities and recording equipment for both of the audio and visual portions of this podcast.
And if you have forgotten, we do have a video version of this podcast up on YouTube and camiri.org.
Woo.
Thanks to Jason Shaw of Audionautics for the use of our intro and outro music.
And that's a wrap.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Disclaimer. The conceptual treatment of a motion picture created during the duration of this audio program is not intended to represent a presently published fictional narrative. The story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. Original concepts devised during the extent of the audio program are creative property of Colt Classics. Any usage of current or previous Colt Classic concepts outside of the aforementioned audio program must include appropriate acknowledgments by the utilizing party.
Pocket Podcast Network. Quality programming right to your pocket.